much for joining us today on Feeling Good, sponsored by Warren County Community Services. I'm your host, Shelly Abrams, and today I am delighted to introduce you to actually two new friends of mine that I have heard so much about with regard to our sponsoring agency. I speak of every month the Warren County Community Services. And today I'd like to introduce you to the Director of Warren County Community Services, Dawna Fogarty, and Annie Droege, who is also an associate of Warren County Community Services, along with Dawna. Welcome, you two. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Very good. Well, I know that you are kind of coming into these positions fairly recently. Mm-hmm. Tell us about, both of you, I'd like to learn a little bit about each one of you and your journey to Warren County Community Services. Who would like to start? Dawna?
I can go first.
Okay,
sure.
great,
Yeah.
great.
So I lived and worked in northern Kentucky for about 26 years,
Okay.
Doing social services in a couple of different agencies. And recently in 2018, accepted a position in Missouri for community action and was the executive director of the state association for the community action agencies in Missouri. And heard about Warren County Community Services needing a new CEO late last fall and decided to apply. I'd been in Missouri for about 3.5 years and missed my family and missed my friends here, and thought it was time to really come back this way and start giving back to the community again here.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
So your family is in northern Kentucky?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They are.
Very good.
Well,
So-
my daughter lives outside of Dayton, my
Oh.
daughter and her husband, and my son and my husband live in northern Kentucky. So,
Very good.
Yeah.
So this does bring you back to the region.
Yes.
And that is as good as being back home again.
absolutely.
Well, welcome. We're
Thank
happy
you.
that
Thank you.
that all worked out nicely for you. And Annie, give us a little background on you, please.
Sure. So I am originally from Chicago, but went to the University of Dayton, and my husband and I lived in Cincinnati right after graduation. And after I graduated from college, through now, I have been working with different nonprofits, the YMCA, Boys and Girls Club, and then recently before WCCS, I ran a teen center in Liberty Township for a couple years. So my passion is nonprofit work, helping make sure people are doing the things they need to be the best versions of themselves and being able to help them with that. So, which brings me to WCCS. About 2 years ago, I came in through a grant to help with Warren County Imagination Library. And I did a lot of work then with the Imagination Library and also doing outreach for WCCS. And now I'm the COO at WCCS and couldn't be more excited to be on this awesome new team.
Very good. So we have the CEO and the COO here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, very good. Thank you so much for sponsoring Feeling Good. We enjoy and I enjoy reaching out to the community as well. And my background has been from education to corporate life to nonprofit work. And actually my experience with WCCS, I think, started more with the Meals on Wheels program. Because my parents were volunteers in Northern Ohio, and they do volunteer work through WCCS. And then after my mother passed away, my dad actually was a recipient of WCCS services. And I thought, if there's any way I can give back to the agency that is making Meals on Wheels happen, I will do that. So that was really my initial introduction to WCCS. And probably many people in Warren County and the region see the vehicles that have the wraps that say WCCS on them. But I thought today it would be wonderful to really go through all the programs and maybe give people more information about the wide array of services that WCCS offers. So let's begin at the beginning. Where would you like to start with programming?
I can talk a little bit about where we start with the children and then go through the life cycle with families and individuals.
Great.
So we do prepare around 400 kiddos a year for school success, school readiness. We serve from 0 to 5 with our early Head Start and Head Start in our early learning centers. And we have got 5 of those centers around the county, and are just happy to work with those young children and help shape their what their perception is of school and their learning. So
right, very good.
Yeah,
very good. So you start at the very early ages and stages.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Yeah.
So then, what would you say is the next step up in terms of programming and maybe the ages that you focus upon?
Well, one of our newer programs that we have been partnering with is the High School Workforce Initiative. We partner in a initiative with the Warren County United Way, and through that program we work mostly with juniors and seniors in about 7 of our local high schools. And the real focus of this program, it started I think about 3 years ago underneath the umbrella of United Way.
Okay.
And it has expanded to WCCS as well. But the Great Resignation is a true thing going on, and so we are trying to work with not only our partners in education, but our local businesses to help prepare students who may not have a college plan, to help make sure that they have at least a career pathway. And so we not only partner with our local schools, but we partner with about 9 local companies, and we work with them to develop really strong career pathways. So we are setting our students up for success when they do these programs. They're not just being plopped into maybe a manufacturing job or other things, but they actually are on a path for success and understand that before they even get employed there. And our Community Growth Director, Joe Schroeder, is really involved in this program and does a really great job ensuring that kind of interaction happens. Other things that go on with that program are they do a lot of tours and presentations, and what I think is the best part of that program is that they do a lot of one-on-one with students and spend a lot of time helping that student understand what their strengths are and making sure they're matching them up with the right field moving forward. So it is a growing program, and we're really proud of it. So
Great.
I would say that would be the next level of our
Well, I'm
program.
very interested in hearing about the new program because I wasn't aware that it had grown as much as you're mentioning. And my background initially was in secondary education, so I taught. In fact, I taught vocational home economics at the time. And I am always a proponent of career paths and getting students connected with employers so they see what the world of work really looks like and what they need to do to prepare for that. And so it's good to see that that's a program. How does that work in the schools, or is it do they pull the students out and they meet together with Joe, or how does that work?
Yes, so Joe works with someone from United Way. Her name's Riley.
Okay.
And they work with the school counselors, like really hand in hand. So
Okay.
the counselors will select students that might need a different pathway besides college, or if they were to go into service. So
Okay.
they pull those, they call them a cohort.
Okay.
And Joe and Riley work with them one-on-one, do some career pathway exploration, and then start to work towards our established workforce partners, these businesses that we have partnered with, and they'll get all sorts of skills trainings. If they are students that are eligible for different things, we'll work with partners such as OMJ and Easter Seals and TANF, so these students can have success as well if they need to take some credited classes in colleges moving forward for these work paths. But yeah, we have really great success with Advix and Atrium and oh gosh, I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch of them. GMI, but lots of different businesses that we're working with. Yeah.
Oh, very good. Very
Yeah.
good. Well, do the companies that you just mentioned and several more, do they contact you if they're interested in becoming a partner, or how would that work?
Yes, absolutely. We would definitely get them in touch with Joe Schroeder because he has a great way of getting them connected and onto the way the program works. But yes, they can definitely contact myself, and I can put them in contact with Joe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll give contact information near the end of the show, but I would think that, I mean, the business people I talk to are always looking for good, trainable workers.
Yep.
And I think it would be win-win,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to get the employers and the program together with students. What high schools are involved in this program right now?
I don't know if I'll get all 7, but I know we are in Mason, Kings.
Lebanon?
I don't think right now we are in Lebanon.
Okay.
WCCC, Waynesville, Springboro,
And Franklin or Little Miami?
and Franklin,
Okay.
and Little Miami.
Okay.
We're working towards Carlisle and Lebanon.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to do
no, it's okay.
a little quiz. I
that's
was
okay.
I was just interested to know because oftentimes, you know, if school districts realize, oh, we aren't doing that, they might very well be interested in doing that.
Yeah.
So,
We are open to collaboration.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay. Very good. And you're both right now in the new offices,
Yes, we are.
right? And
Yes.
those are located.
At 645 Oak Street.
Okay, very good. I remember when we did a show a few months ago when it was just in the midst of the redecorating. Literally everything was being changed up and changed out and so on. So I'm sure that if we were to visit today, it would look totally different. So
Yes.
good location, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, good central location. All righty, very good. So we've got the wee ones, and we've got the junior. Is it high school primarily?
Yes, high
Okay,
school primarily,
Okay,
yep.
high school primarily. Okay, then where would we go from there? After high school, what would be the next?
I think we would touch on some of our our assistance programs that can also affect the entire household.
Okay.
So,
Okay, good, good.
Our home energy assistance program, as well as our emergency services program. We have programs that can help supply assistance if they need heating and electric bills to be paid, as well as a new program that I did want to highlight is that we have. It's called LEWAP, right? And it's our low-income household water assistance program. We have a new grant that we got in the beginning of the year, and that would help to low-income eligible residents with their water and wastewater bills. So if there is someone that is struggling out there in Warren County and need help in that way, they can contact our HEAP program, and we will get them connected to services.
Okay.
We also are still accepting the government assistance, emergency rental assistance program.
All righty.
That is still going on, so I wanted to make sure we were highlighting that. And that is available through September as of right now.
And there's quite a bit of assistance through that fund. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yes. If any of those programs are of interest to anybody, they can call one phone number and they will get you directed to the right person. That is 513-970-6737.
Okay, very
Yeah.
good. Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure Joe will put that up on the screen as part of the show, I think people would be surprised to know the variety of services that are available. And just being able to call one number and be able to, check those services out. Okay, very good. Well, I know I keep glancing down. I wanted to show this. I wanted to share this. This is the newsletter that I get. There we go. I'll straighten it. Newsletter that I get that features Warren County Community Services. And there are so many programs that are featured here. I notice a new one every once in a while. And one of the ones that I actually was a volunteer in, and that might be another step up because I'm thinking it affects their family as well, is the Adult New Readers program. And I just got an email just before I came over here today. Barbara has a young woman that is interested in being tutored, and she wanted to know if I was ready yet to start tutoring again, because it was kind of pre-COVID. I was tutoring another young mom and who had high school age children, and she wanted to be able to communicate better when she took her junior high and high school age student to the doctor. Something as critical as that. She wanted to be able to communicate with her. And now this mom is also in a position where she really is ready to learn. I mean, she's started, but she wants to keep going. And I think everybody's kind of in a restart.
Yes.
I don't know if there was a break because of COVID, or there was just just the way life happens, there was a break. But Barbara Geiger, I got your email, and I will be responding right away. So, nonetheless, that was a very interesting program to me, because with my teaching background, although you don't have to be a teacher, many of the tutors are not teachers by degree. It's just a passion that you want to help others communicate and be able to read and be able to, as I mentioned, just interact with their families in English. So I found it very, very fulfilling as a volunteer. So we can always use volunteers, correct? All across the board.
Yes.
So think about that. That is one that I'm really connected to, is the Adult New Readers program. But enough for me. Now back to my two guests about more programs that you would like to mention.
Well, you mentioned the Adult New Readers, and that is kind of the next program that really touches all family members, like you mentioned. And it is so successful, and yes, we do need volunteers. We are starting to pick up a lot because of COVID. Thankfully, things have relaxed. People are ready to get back out and interact and start learning again. So that is another one that really, beyond high school, the adults that need that kind of service are certainly. It's growing. And so, and like you mentioned, it's health literacy. It might be financial literacy. It's not just reading and writing, in terms of what schools expect. But just to be able to understand, your bank statement, or to be able to get banked. Some of that is financial literacy that folks are needing. And then we have just a wide range of services for, of course, as you know, our elderly population here in the county. And Annie, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Yes, we have such an array of services for our elderly clients, and it's just so, I always get amazed at what we can accomplish for them. So just, we've talked about Meals on Wheels already, but which is just growing and doing as well as it always has. But last year we served approximately 1,300 clients, and I forget how many.
So 340,000 meals, a little bit over 340,000 meals were served in 2021, which was up by about 50,000 from 2020.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
My goodness.
So,
And something really special about that program, they didn't stop during COVID. They were really instrumental with our seniors in Warren County, and they deserve a little bit of a shout out, our drivers and our cooks and
Sure
Amy
do.
Hoopy overseeing that
Yes.
operation. They did an excellent job. But so we have Meals on Wheels. We also have transportation that's picking up again since COVID has kind of settled down a little bit. So if there are residents that need transportation for medical or non-medical appointments, they can contact our transportation program at 513-695-2222, and they can get set up for transportation. And then two other programs that are really pivotal, three other programs that are very pivotal in our elderly programs. Our senior center at 741 is very much going on and very vibrant. We opened back up in April of 2021, I think, with just about 15 clients, and now we're seeing about 137 a month.
Good.
So if you are a senior who would like to get connected, they have lots of different activities going on. They have a monthly party, which I know is on May 19th this month, but they also have a new class. They're going to be doing a balance and fall prevention class on Wednesdays, which will be a 12-week class, which we're really excited to see happen. But they have all sorts of really fun activities to stay connected as a senior there. And then one other program that I think is kind of a little hidden gem is our Supportive Senior Services program.
Okay.
This program is really a program that for a client that may not be eligible for our elderly services program, but still in a space of need. So if this is someone who might need those services, we can help with things like getting them set up for commodity boxes, which are a monthly shipment of perishable and non-perishable items, as well as helping people out with assistance for benefits. If they need things in their houses to maintain their independence, such as like handrails or things like that, we can help with that, as well as filling out paperwork for Medicaid, food stamps, our HEAP program, and then helping them out with some light errands and grocery shopping. So I wanted to make sure people knew about that program. And then our last program, which is very important in our county, is our Elderly Services program. It is doing very, very well, and we are currently serving over 1,800 clients in Warren County, doing all the good work that our tax levy went for. So,
Very good.
yeah.
Well, as I think I emailed you yesterday, I often get the mailings from ARP because I am age appropriate for receiving ARP mailings and am a member. And they had an interesting graph in their livable communities section. And livable communities that's sponsored by ARP is trying to get communities to think about being livable for all ages. And they have grants available, and they have all kinds of trainings available, and so on and so forth. But in the research I was doing, they had a graph in there that I thought was very telling. And I believe it is, now don't quote me, but I'll mention the year, I believe it was by 2034. The number of over 65 population will outnumber, well, the axis will cross over, and there will be more over 65 population than any other age, I believe. So that really signals, probably to you in agency work, the need for affordable housing, communities that can welcome, as I mentioned, welcome all ages. for instance, I read in the paper the other day and on Facebook, someone said, I live in a certain part of this community and there's no sidewalk. And when it's close to their little downtown area, but I can't ride a bike there. I can't walk there very easily because there's no sidewalk. And I thought, I drive by that area every day and I think, that's something that somebody from the audit, now they have these walking audits of volunteers, and they walk through communities. And I'll tell you, a community that has received recognition for being a livable city is Oxford, Ohio. And I have several friends. I graduated from Miami, and I'm very involved with the ILR program, the Institute for Learning in Retirement program at Miami. And we've talked about this, that they really have, of course, they also have the gerontology program at Miami as well. So that probably gives them a little leg up on the latest in services and, kind of organizational types of things for making their community livable for all ages. So I just wondered, in your planning for future programming and so forth, where do you see WCCS going?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because just this morning we took a tour of several of our housing complexes. So we do have 10 affordable housing complexes for seniors, and we have one housing complex for families that's affordable here in Warren County. And they're spread throughout the county as well. There for many, many years, we saw a lot of growth with that. There was a lot of funding available through HUD and some other resources that we were able to build these affordable housing complexes. And then it hit a point in time in the 90s and early 2000s where that funding pretty much dried up. We were also coming up against some of those communities who didn't necessarily want affordable housing in their community, not really understanding who it benefited. And so we really kind of hit that plateau and have been running and housing many, many families for years. And last year we housed 541 individuals in affordable housing through the county. Where we go with that, it will be a focus of our strategic planning as we start, and we are going to be embarking on that strategic planning process later this year.
Oh, good.
So good. I certainly think that is a need here. I know that when we do our community needs assessment, we'll probably hear housing is a big need, and especially affordable housing. So we are looking forward to seeing what we can do to help as our population ages and needs more support. The other interesting thing about that is she gave us our management company gave us some really great facts today as well, that 170 of those 541 are between the ages of 70 and 80. And we've got another, I want to say 50 some that are between 80 and 90, and we even have some residents who are over 90 and over 100 years old. And to say that we've allowed that many people to, age independently in place is something.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, for sure. Well, and I think too, as I mentioned, I'm very involved with the ILR program, and we are all 50 and older. Most of us are 65 and older in that program. There is a wealth of experience, intelligence, and wisdom from that age group to be shared in every community. So the more you can include them in your strategic planning sessions, maybe on committees or, that kind of thing. I think that it would be a wealth of information that is lived every day by those very people that you mentioned. And So I just thought today I would put in my plug for the age groups that really I think would love to still be involved and would appreciate being asked
Yes.
to participate, because they would tell you, what they would recommend or what they feel the needs are, and they would certainly compliment you for the services that are offered, because I won't name the county, but I know some other counties in Ohio that do not have nearly the services that Warren County does through Warren County Community Services, which incidentally is not part of the government of Warren County, just to reiterate that for people wondering. And so hats off to Warren County Community Services and their staff members, because you provide so much. As you mentioned, you strengthen the fabric of the community, and I don't think people realize the depth of service that you offer. So I hope that in our program today, our audience will listen, take notes, give a call to the contact numbers, and maybe we should give the contacts again, so that folks know if there are one or two numbers to call for certain services. What would that be again, Annie?
I don't have them all. I should have written
Well,
more
no,
down.
but I
for the
mean-
ones I had mentioned earlier.
Right.
For transportation, you would call 513-695-2222. And for our heating energy assistance program or rental assistance program or water assistance program, you would call 513-970-6737.
Okay, very good. So are there any activities that are up and coming? I noticed one thing in the newspaper that we haven't mentioned yet. You do take
Yes.
a variety of trips and travel. Mention what that's about, and who coordinates those travel experiences.
So those are part of our non-medical transportation trips, and those are coordinated through Laura Lind at our senior center, and someone fabulous named Emily who works in our transportation program.
I know Emily.
Yes,
Okay. Yes.
Together they coordinate and help get seniors together for trips. So again, if you call transportation, if that was something that interested you, you can definitely call transportation, and Emily would take care of you that way.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Yes, Emily and I worked on a couple special events for fundraisers for
Great.
Warren County Community Services. So yes, I know her, and I know her mother. So and I know her sister. Okay. So are there any events coming up that you would like to, promote, or anything that we should, like current? You've given us very, very current information about the meetings and strategic planning that's happening. Any other kinds of things we should look for in the next few months?
We don't have anything major on the calendar.
Okay.
And, knowing that I've been here for just a little over 90 days.
So settling in. Okay.
And really, this first year is all about, strengthening our infrastructure, understanding and getting our operations up to where we want to see those.
Okay.
And really looking and taking the time to plan what's next year going to look like, and what's the next year going to look like. And I know that there's probably a big event at some point that we'll be asking folks to come to and join us in celebrating the successes of our employees and our those who receive services from us. Right now, though, there's not one of those on the calendar.
Okay. Yet to be determined.
Yes.
So, but I always like to give you an opportunity to, promote those those kind of events. Well, it sounds like things are pretty busy at Warren County Community Services, and I think that our audience might be interested in finding out more. If you've never visited the center, the 741 Center, and you should put that on your list of things that, oh, I always drive by that, but I've never driven back in to see, because I think you would be amazed. The Meals on Wheels on Market Street is amazing. I don't know that that's really I'm not sending people there necessarily to do a tour, but I think they like volunteers, yes, and they also do they still need drivers and people that they actually hire?
100%. We are in need of, I know we have a couple driver
Okay.
positions available in
Okay.
both our Meals on Wheels and transportation. And then volunteers, yes, we could always use volunteers
Right.
in many different ways.
Okay.
I have a list.
Yes, we do. We don't have an event, but we do have volunteer needs.
Yes,
so,
we do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned adult new readers. We're always looking for volunteers for that program. In our early learning centers, we need some help there right now.
Okay.
Classroom aides in both our early Head Start classrooms and our the ones who are 3 to 5 years old. We are rebooting our Friendly Visitor program.
Oh,
And I don't know if you were familiar with that in the past.
I think I had heard of it, but explain to our audience a little more.
Yeah, so we at one time delivered services basically, and it's just to help reduce social isolation for those who are homebound or mostly homebound seniors, and to be able to just make a phone call even if, and talk with them, to be that social connection
Right.
for those who don't have a lot of social connection. And Annie has recently done such a great job and worked with staff to secure some funding for a position for that. So we are hiring a volunteer coordinator to really help, obviously coordinate those folks and train them who will be going out and helping folks in the community.
Great, great. Well, I will say that with Meals on Wheels, I was going to mention this, that they not only serve the food, the meals, but sometimes they're the only people
Yep.
that those folks see during a day.
No.
I know that happened with my dad, and he would just love to, talk, because that was sometimes the only, person that he actually saw face to face.
Yeah.
So I think that the idea of having this additional program is very important, very important.
Well, and especially coming out of COVID.
Right.
So many people are just very isolated, very lonely. And, there's times when folks just get to a point too where, they may not be taking good care of themselves. And so this friendly visitor will be visiting with them at least once a month and just checking in and being that social connection.
Okay, very
Yeah.
good, very good. Any others?
Our 741 Center
Okay.
needs welcome attendants, an office and clerical assistants. And really, like Annie said, we've got so many activities, but they always want more. So we need teachers for those activities and just to help support, that social interaction in that setting.
Okay, all right, very good. Well, I hope that you had your little notepad. And I will say this, we are on several times during the month on Channel 6, but we are also on online. You can click on our link online, and we are also on YouTube. So if you happen to watch us on Feelin Good YouTube, like us, share the link, and subscribe, because we would love to build our audience. I think our audience has really gained in momentum, and we like to keep that going. So thank you both to Annie and Dawna for visiting today. You've given us so much to think about the information. It was wonderful. And again, we thank Warren County Community Services for all that you do. And we hope you out there are feeling good. Bye for now.